In einem einstündigen Dev-Stream stellte Christian Hagedorn persönlich den Gefechtsmodus von Die Siedler Neue Allianzen vor. Hierfür spielte er auf einer kleinen 1 gegen 1 Karte gegen Game Director Nadim Affani. Relativ viel Gameplay-Footage also, den ich für euch nochmal aufbereitet habe. Im nächsten Dev-Stream, den es jetzt von Ubisoft öfter geben soll uns dann Nadim Affani die Story und Kampagne näher bringen.
Alright, so I would say, without further ado, let's show some gameplay to the people and let's get into the game.
We are ready to go. Okay, matchmaking has a timer for us of 5 seconds and we are ready to launch. I will be playing with the 𝗏𝗏 today.
Yes.
𝗏𝗏 lately have become my favorite faction, so I like to specialize in what they can do for me.
I hope Nadim is ready for what's coming his way.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. So what does happen when you start at the map, you know? Do you hope for a certain place to start on this map?
All right, so usually the beginning of any Settlers game is called the opening build. Determines really what your future will be looking like during the mid-game or on. I think we may actually not be loading into the map. We may have to restart. I think we may have to restart. So let's go back here. I will go for this.
No problem.
Hey, it's excellent that we're showing we're still in development and things like this can
Yeah, absolutely.
and will happen.
This is not the final version we're playing, of course.
That is indeed correct.
Of course. But that was a good opportunity to tell the people that this is not the final version, of course.
All right, so we will take a minute in order to relaunch the game.
Yes, no problem.
And then we can continue from there. Luckily, with the new private PvP setup, I can just invite Nadim again. We'll have the match running in no time.
All right.
But these things happen on purpose, right?
Yeah, I was just saying, we planned that.
Yes.
Right beforehand, we planned what does happen if we have to restart something. So.
Okay, let's form the party once again.
Yes.
Here we go.
And Nadim is already...
There we go. We are now in a party. I go to PvP.
𝗏𝗏 faction.
𝗏𝗏 indeed. And we are ready to go again. See?
All right.
What did that take? A minute,
was
2?
10 seconds.
Cool to show. Had we been in the middle of the match, Reconnect would have kicked in and we would have been just able to go back into the game.
Yeah, very cool feature, yeah. And then we would be able to get right into the action again.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
See?
Now
Everything is
we're
fine.
talking. Now we're talking.
Welcome to the cauldron.
Okay, so let's start.
Okay, so I'm very happy. I'm in the bottom position.
That was my question, right?
Indeed. So we were talking about the starting situation for any Settlers game. And the cool thing about this is that the decisions that you take in the early game really mark the difference of what you can do, what you can access, and what you can achieve in the mid-game. Right now, I am going with what we could call the most standard of openers, of course, making sure that I will have construction material for all the times and things we want to do soon. But then I will do my own twist to it, where I immediately go into fish production. Fish and other types of food throughout our game are very useful in order to improve your infrastructure without consuming more raw materials. So for example, if we feed our quarry here with fish, they'll be producing more stone out of the available deposits right there. So infrastructure and food production are indeed paramount to the game. I will also start planning for the future. And if I move my units over here, as I see everyone is still building, yeah, okay, the quarry is done, the sawmill is done, enemy inside indeed. Do you know who these are?
Oh, I see, the bandits.
Indeed.
Those are the bandits, right?
That is indeed correct. So we have talked about our newly included rush protection in all our multiplayer maps, and we wanted to make a good show out of them. Right now, we have a very small starting army that we're controlling here. And before I continue explaining, I will order my units to claim more territory. And what we can see is that throughout this map, there are several checkpoints that will be guarded by the bandits. and over here is the starting area for my opponent. What this tells me is I'll be protected if Nadim wants to try to get to me. He has to face 4 groups of bandits. If we both aim to go towards the center, we both have to face our own groups, the 2 bandits. And in that way, we can even keep an eye on what is the progress of our opponents via scouting. So right now, what this tells us is there is a group of units that will play for the player that is not attacking them. That's the easiest way to think about it. If Nadim tries to go through all of them, he has to pay the tax of military units that have to face those bandits. And if I am the one doing so, then I will better be ready in order to continue doing that effort. So we send these guys over here. I need to claim this territory now. Give me more engineers. They make me happy. But let's start building. Yes?
Would it be possible to play even without defeating or attacking the bandits at all?
Absolutely. One of the strategies we offer, of course, is being defensive. With the inclusion of our defensive buildings, it's a little bit easier even. You can focus on every other aspect of your settlement, for example, infrastructure or food production and so on, in order to grow stronger and make sure that when the enemy breaks through the last bandit camp that was protecting you, you are ready for them. However, there is something that you're giving up if you're not the one pushing through the bandits. It's not only the rewards that killing the bandits brings itself, it's also whatever type of resources or materials are hiding behind. So right now, for example, in this mining area, we find coal, we find iron, and I need to claim this territory in order to make it mine.
But the question is,
yeah,
do you know what's in there? Do you always know what is in those places?
That is indeed a very cool question. And let me move these people before they go towards the bandits. There we go. I have learned my lessons.
We don't risk anything, yeah.
So we always thought that having prior knowledge of the map, especially through having practiced or being exclusively reading content online or watching strategy guides from others, kind of leads to a situation where you have to learn a map before you can even play it. So what we've offered our players is if they go to our journal and find the map that they're looking for, we display for them what they can find on this location.
I see.
Then they can practice, they can learn, they can engage, even as I'm doing right now, right, during the match. And they can use that knowledge in order to advance their plans.
And basically everyone has the same knowledge.
That is correct. So we want the battles, or we want the competition to be about the skills of each player, rather than, of course, saying like, hey, you read more guides, you watch more videos.
Right.
All right. Another aspect that is very important of the early game that I need to keep up is building residences. So the way a Settlers game works is that carriers are your main task force for all automated tasks. If an item needs to be moved from A to B, a carrier needs to be called. If a building has to be built, the resource materials are used and carried by carriers. And as you can see right now, I currently have 5 idle people. Now 7, 8, 9 going up. So your goal, especially in the early game, is to keep the amount of idle engineers as low as possible and keep the amount of idle carriers always above 0. So if you can hover over 1, that would be perfect. But every time you have a little bit of surplus of idle carriers, that means you can push your economy a little bit further. You can build more things. You can order more buildings. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with 2 farms already. And these farms, they don't serve an immediate purpose, but as with everything in the Settlers, you are planning for the future. So we will come back later at them and see if they really help me deliver.
All right.
All right. I still have a lot of people. So we have a bit of time. We can answer some questions. Is there fog of war? There are 2 different types of fog of war. The answer first is yes, so that's cool. And there are 2 different types of fog of war. The first one is what we call the gray fog, which is you currently do not have actual information about this terrain, which is what we can see especially in PvP matches, or in any other mode where you have already revealed an area but then retreated out of. So as long as you don't have recent information, you will see the gray fog. And the gray fog will only indicate to you what was the last you knew about that location. So in case something has changed or an enemy has moved in, you will not get that information refreshed for you until you move into that location. Alternatively, we have the white fog, which is used more for an exploration sense, where you cannot see even the topology of the map. So this one means you don't know what's going on. You don't know if it's going to be a cliff or if it's going to be a mountain or if it's going to be all the resources you were looking for.
But is there a way to like have a peek and to see a bit of what's hiding beneath?
The answer is yes. One of our recent additions was indeed a new unit. It's called the Scout. And I'm going to make this building hurry. We're going to give it priority by sending engineers to it so that I can showcase what we're talking about. All right, in the meantime, I see, let me look at my settlement for a little bit so I can make sure that we're moving correctly. Okay, I want
build some towers.
Tower here for defense. The farms are up.
But so the bandits are
check
not...
my fish. Sorry, the fish is getting a bit too low. I need to build more. I'm falling behind.
No problem.
None of that. We will actually catch up. We are in a very good spot, actually. The most important aspect of the early game is to make sure that we never run out of carriers.
And we don't want to have Nadim like getting, you know, ahead of himself.
Well, maybe it's part of my tactic, make him think that we're behind.
Hopefully he can't hear us right now.
Getting ghosted on my first game already. Okay, so let's look at the building of the guild hall. So the guild hall was traditionally only the building where engineers were recruited. We have added a new unit to it, the Scout, as we spoke. And the Scout can fulfill 3 different roles with their special abilities. The first one is, if they're left alone, they hide. They literally hide from sight. As long as they don't attack anything or no enemy moves close to them, they'll be able to reveal that area where they're standing in without the danger of getting detected. Secondarily, well, they're very weak in combat because they don't really have a lot of hit points compared to normal soldiers that require steel to be produced, or iron. They do have a combat poison, so they can supply additional damage even if they get defeated.
This is something I want to see down the line today, to be very honest.
We'll make sure of that then. And I'm going to recruit a few of them. That's very cool.
As you recruit them right now, we have a question from chat.
Cool.
So will engineers go by shortest route or safest route from destination?
It's a cool question. I think we informed very recently of this improvement that we've performed. Engineers indeed will notice when a route automatically would take them to bandit camps and not take that route.
Very smart people, I would say.
Yeah, other than that, we will always take the shortest route, that is for sure. So let me grab, I need more trees. Okay, so these people are building that. These people are now jobless. It is always ideal if you keep your entire population of engineers busy. So we're gonna make sure we do that. And then we already have some scouts.
Oh, now
Let me put them in control group 2, and we get back to them.
to see what they can show us.
Here they are. I've recruited a few more. I will add them to my military group, but here they are. There's a third, if everyone remembers, there's a third thing that they can do, and that is that they can use their scouting ability. And the way this works is very self-explanatory. They can control the Raven familiars. So they will be able to send out a scanning sweep. Oh no, who is doing that? My engineers.
Engineers too close.
Too close to danger. Oh, no, they even killed the last
feeling
ones.
a bit brave right now.
Yeah, they dared. They dared. That's okay. I built a tower for that purpose. All right, so the way this works is that you'll be able to select a portion of land that you want to reveal, just as we were talking about before. And voila, we have revealed the enemy. And this, if you know exactly what you want to investigate, for example, I will also do this, gives you the information that you really want to know. Example 1.
Is Nadim already there?
Nadim is not engaging with his bandits. Of course, mine are not defeated either, right? So it's not like we're too far. But I can see that he has not built his mines yet, but he has revealed them, which tells me he's certainly planning to do to build the mines very soon. So what can we do about this? Well, we continue with our own plan, but we now have a bit more information. So I'm going to build the training ground. There we go. The toolmaker has been going on for a little bit. I think I need a few more tools, so that's fine. The quarry is collecting correctly. We have built now some shields. I want to swap this to access. Yes, access is correct. I'm looking for access. And one last thing. It's very difficult to play and talk, so sometimes I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. Yes, the ranch, that's what I'm looking for. The reason why we built the farms earlier on is because I wanted to accumulate a little bit of wheat so that in the future we could build a ranch and it could start production right away. Wheat is now necessary for the ranch, so that is a gain. Am I running out of stone? Yes. Let me find the academy. It requires 6 stone. We can pause the toolmaker, liberate the stone, build the academy, and we will come back to this later. There we go. All right, so training hall is complete, and there's a very cool feature that I love to use, which is rally to group. I know that this is a mystery to some, but let me explain a little bit of it. Rally to group is a feature that allows you to, instead of saying, hey, every new created unit go to that position, it's every new created unit join this other group, which is the most common thing that most people have to do manually every time they recruit a new unit in any other game. And then they go to the position where most of the group is standing. So what this is going to create is basically an effortless transition where I just recruit new units and they will go and become one giant army up here.
Very, very cool feature.
Indeed.
Also, we have a question from chat. Is there a button to auto-select nearest idle workers?
Yes, that is indeed correct. There is a hotkey that you can even configure yourself, but the top tool widget allows you to go to the nearest if you want by right-click, or you can make a group by right-clicking more and more. So as you see, I have selected now these 4 units.
Cool.
All right, let me, you know what? I need to grab this area because I'm gonna want more farms. And I want also all of this coast in order to build a harbor. Oh, surprises, spoilers.
And also, as I'm getting a bit, I want to see some action.
Yeah.
We would want to engage the bandits, right?
That is indeed correct. But there is something that I built in order to make this a little bit more easy for me. I'm gonna use one of my archers to pull away
you lure them to the tower.
And I lure them into the tower.
All right.
Now I let the tower do most of the work. And the cool thing is the tower can take a lot of hits. So as long as they don't fully destroy the tower, my building will survive. It will then be rebuilt, and I will be very happy.
Okay.
So I'm taking now a little bit of damage, but it compares so it trades very well compared to having taken all the risk by myself.
And the tower recovers, right?
The tower recovers, the units recover as long as they're not in combat. So for both, the same scenario.
Cool.
And now I see I have only left the enemy. What are you doing? He felt very
Feeling brave again, yeah.
He feels alive. Let him do the thing. Okay.
I want to do something.
Yeah. I'm going to turn this off. I have a plan for the future. Do we have the research complete? Yes, very cool. So I'm going to start researching this. Okay, so now that I've eliminated the first wave in such an effective or efficient manner, I will wait a little bit until my people are healed. I will move this guy a little bit to the front. And let me see, do we have someone else that could take a hit? Nah, as long as the scouts are in the back, then they will survive their attacks. And do we have these scouts still? Yes. Let's put everyone together and just break through these enemies. And as we just saw, research finished. There's a cool thing that we have added with the newest version of research, and that is that as long as
just quickly, do we see the poison right now?
Yes,
oh,
indeed.
I was waiting for this. So those are the
archer,
scouts, right? With their poison arrows.
That is correct. And as always in the Settlers, having infinite units of one type is not usually the best. What you want is to find the right composition for you. Especially if you need someone to take on the first shot of archers, a guardian will help you there. If you need to defeat a lot of guardians, then the warrior helps you there. And if too many warriors are on the field, then the archers help you there.
Yeah.
That's basically how the basic triangle works.
And what you just did was you claimed the gold, right? We got 1,000.
Right. So as we saw before, the landmark had a reward for defeating the bandits. Those bandits might attack. They did. I saw them. And now we can claim the reward for our own. We can check here. It's 1,000 gold, and I can use those 1,000 gold however I want. I have a good plan for it. We will reveal that in a little bit. So how are we doing with tools? I think I want tools again. Please produce more. And on here, all right, so did I build this? Yes, I did. And just like that, we have obtained our first expansion. We can consider very easily that we're going into the mid-game. And the way this will work is that I have now access to an enormous extra land, patch of land where I can build more buildings, grab the new resources, and most importantly, find whatever is
area,
this.
yes.
And as we checked last time, if anyone remembers from the screenshot of the map, I do remember.
I don't.
Aha! It is stone. And the coolest thing is this expansion in this particular map, of course, it's different for every map, provides infinite regrowing forest and infinite underground mining. So I can ensure myself that I will not run out of building materials, which are crucial throughout the entire game. I have a lot of archers to recruit. Let's do that.
We have a small question from the chat.
Okay.
If you have time,
We
you're
have
in
the
your
time.
planning right now.
I can try to do both.
So we have, are there bigger maps where you can build more iron mines than 1 or 2?
Absolutely, yes. The reason we chose this map in particular, beyond being one of my favorites, is because it allows us to show all of this without having too many ways or segues where ambushes could happen. This lets us show step by step what we're trying to portray. Other maps are very big. Other maps allow you to have hidden bases, plenty of infrastructure, long distance recruitment. It's gonna be really, really cool. So we sent people to claim this land. If not, I'm gonna make sure that they are.
Yeah, and you were talking about the expansion, right?
Right.
So wouldn't it be like a good idea to build a second warehouse at some point?
That is indeed correct. So every building will be automatically wanting to deliver their goods to a warehouse or request their goods from a warehouse. If you only have one, that means they will only recruit and get from that one. And if you're super far away, that obviously means it's gonna take a long time. I'm gonna need you to pause for a second because I want to create, after this upgrade, I want to create another research. Okay, we have the warehouse system. And the way it works is they choose the closest. If you build a second one, then those buildings that are nearby that second warehouse will deliver to that one. And more efficiently, the warehouses will be caring about what resources are needed in the proximity of each of those themselves. So there will be basically a fast lane and then a short lane towards the warehouses themselves. All right.
So we have another chat question.
Cool.
Can engineers be told to claim a select area and then stop?
The engineers will claim around a definitive area, right? So it is 10, I don't remember the exact number, but it's a bunch of hexes that they will claim in a radius, because what you want when you order them is, please take care of this thing for me, right? They will first get there, then they'll start claiming in a radius, but they cannot tell that they are getting into the range or the danger zone of a bandit.
Okay.
So because you gave them the order to go claim around, they go like, you know what, I trust you, master. We're just gonna go there. I'm getting danger close to these bandits, but apparently nothing is happening.
They won't attack me.
Yes, it is up to the player to pay attention when they're getting way too close to the bandits.
Sure.
And I think it's a lot easier when you're not also streaming at the same time. But I'm pretty sure players will not suffer the same losses as me.
Expert mode right now.
All right, I'm gonna build a bastion over here. I want to be a little bit better protected against the second wave of bandits.
Moving out.
And I don't want you to be over there.
Oh yeah, they are. They're standing on the horizon there, the second base.
Yeah.
Can you tell a bit more about the research building? As I think we hovered over it, and
absolutely.
Maybe you want to tell more about this?
Okay, so the most important thing is we will have another stream that will be dedicated to research.
That was my text, but you threw it into the internet.
Oh no! People.
See, that's what's happening when you.
It was a trick.
It was a trick from me.
Okay, let me take care of this combat right now. So and then we will come back to the research.
Yeah, and I can tell we will have a future stream, future developer stream, where we will talk about everything, research building and stuff you can do in depth. But I think for now,
yes,
you can touch on the subject.
Now we're good.
And now we're good. Okay, so
wait. The bandits really want to come back. They didn't like the tower.
But it's only one bandit right now.
You know what? I understand, bandits. I built a tower near your home. Okay, so the way research works is actually very interesting. Because Settlers is an economic game, what we're asking of the players is to have the resources and the capacity to deliver those resources as quick as possible towards the research building. For example, I have 1 axe and 2 iron bars. So I order it, and immediately available carriers, of which I have 0 because I haven't built residences. Siedlermangel. I knew this was going to happen, but let me find good places for the residences, and then we can continue from there. Always build more residences.
I will keep that in mind.
So also I'm gonna stop recruitment for a little bit, and you can continue building this. Okay. So the way the research building works is that as long as you have the resources and materials and the people to deliver, the research will be complete. Which means, as a player, you can prepare for the future by smartly understanding where you want to go, what you want to do in the match, and especially which of the advanced trees you want to open up for the future. So as we explained in a blog post that people can still check, the 3 advanced research trees contain 8 research each. And while it's possible to unlock them all in multiple academies, usually the first one will really mark what type of game you will be moving forward with. So I will be preparing to unlock the Citizens Guild, and as soon as I can show this, I will gladly do so. But for now, I really need to know what is going on with my people. Yeah, I'm gonna pay attention a little bit here. I think I'm able to build a warehouse.
Oh, they still have to build the tower, right?
They still have to build a tower, yes. I actually lost a few too many engineers, which is why I'm trying to recruit new ones. But I think I still have sufficient. Yeah,
oh,
there we go.
Yeah, they come.
So losing a few is perfectly fine, and I've also recruited a few more from the guild hall, so that's not a problem. But really, not having built residences is really coming back to me right now. Are you safe from there? Yeah. We'll keep our army close by.
I think the bandits are peeking and saying, okay, they are...
Are you sure you want to do that?
They are far away, I won't attack.
Yeah, and you know what we can do in the meantime?
Yes, I just wanted to ask, what is Nadim doing, by the way?
Oh my god, so perfect timing. We noticed that our opponent has advanced at least through their first outpost. I can even check the second one, because this would tell me if...
okay.
Okay, cool. You know what? Let me show it.
He hasn't touched
closer.
the second bandit camp.
He hasn't touched the second bandit camp.
Okay.
So this means it's our opportunity then to push forward and claim the center of the map. But we still need a bit of time and preparation to do so. I have lost a few too many units, and the fact that I didn't make the houses in time means that now I'm a little bit too late on recruitment. But let me check my engineers. They are building here, okay, and then the rest are building the houses. Okay, that's good, that's good. That's gonna unlock our whole problem here, and that makes me happy. In the meantime, we will tear the stone mines to actually use the fish that we have gathered up from this place, because this one is about to run out. So had I not prepared properly for this moment, I would now be in trouble. But now that we have the 2 mines...
And the expert you are.
I would like to believe so, yes.
I believe it.
Now that we are in this position, we'll be able to start accumulating some stone again. Okay, so we collected some gold, and gold is now used in multiple places. I wanted to show a few of them, but I don't think I can afford a harbor yet. Okay, stone is counting up. That's where we will go. There are a few uses for gold. One of them is especially in the higher ranks of research that require gold. Let me see if I got one of them. Now, the third one of this research, I remember, requires gold. And of course, throughout the what we call the capstones, the bottom tiers, gold will also be needed. Do I want any of these? I kinda do. Let me grab this. So the research is, of course, one of the places where we can use the gold. Is this the bandits? Okay, we're fine. The second place, of course, is the faction unit, which currently we are balancing through the use of coins. So I'm gonna recruit a few.
The berserker.
Yes. Do I want 3?
Yes.
I kinda do want 3.
Yes,
yeah.
I want 3.
You want 3? Okay.
I want 3.
Kevin
Let's go for 3 berserkers.
Kevin says so, so we do
Sounds
it.
good.
Okay, we have accumulated fish. We have extra wheat. With the extra wheat, what we can do is make a second ranch. Look at the placement. It's
just
fitting perfectly.
Oh my god.
Kinda like I wanted this all along. It was
like
the plan.
a painting.
And with the advent of the second ranch, I'll be able to feed almost all of these buildings constantly with food. So with the output of the mines going through an upgraded furnace, I can provide for 2 blacksmiths, and if I boost those as well, I'll end up with an infinite amount of weapons, which is exactly what I need.
Sounds like music to my eyes, to my ears.
Isn't it great? You know what? I want to see the weapons again. Where are they? There, access. I can do 1 more. I need to remember to save 5 and some bows. So please save the bows, because I want my second attack upgrade. And we're almost ready to unlock this. Oh, that's cool.
We want the citizens one, right?
Yes, Citizens Guild is the one I want to show today. It's also a very solid one. Let me grab another logging camp. Now that we have the warehouse here, transport material, look at this. It's as if I wanted to calculate this. Transport of resources gets a lot easier for these two mines. If you can imagine previously, any carrier that grabbed anything from here had to walk all the way through here, back to the warehouse. And then if I build something in the front lines, it's like, okay, I'm gonna grab the thing all the way through here, which we can already see some people having to update themselves, and then bring it back here. Now with the warehouse, there will be more expedite travel between the two of them, and things will be better for our logistics.
All right.
So the other thing I want to make sure is that we have a new logging camp here to take advantage of the regrowing trees. And I think I want a new sawmill as well. Where can I fit it that it doesn't bother the traffic? There we go. Okay, having built that, the army is like, oh, sorry, I'm in the way. Am I in the way?
I just want to say the bandits I think they will get nervous right now. They see what we are building there.
Yeah. All right, so what we're gonna do is the same as before.
Lure them.
Yes, but with a little bit of a difference. We could absolutely engage with the enemy right now, but always under the guise of a tower is better. And this tower in particular has a healing ability. So it would allow us, when we are taking a few hits, to then heal the people that are still in the area. Now let me fall back.
Getting a bit too aggressive,
And look at that healing. Oh, the timing was so perfect.
That was good.
I have never been so accurate at this. It's making up for crashing at the start. Okay, so
it wants to be loved.
once again, the difference between the two. When I first engaged the other bandits, I lost 1 or 2 units. And now with the composition that I had and the preparation of the Bastion Tower, I lost no one. So my advancement into this latest center expansion has been basically flawless, I could dare to say.
Oh.
Because I literally lost no one. A lot of people got hurt, but hurt is not dead.
They can be repaired, right?
That is correct. So I could wait, for example, until the tower is able to heal again, or if I leave them in our territory, they start healing on their own, a little bit slower, of course, in comparison, but still efficiently.
And we have some reward, right?
That is indeed correct. It is 1,000 gold coins again, because we just defeated the bandits. But more importantly, we are opening the mid-game, the center, which opens us to the late game.
Ah. So, and already, we now saw that Nadim, even to this point, hasn't touched this bandit camp,
Correct,
right?
but I can see already that there is territory here. So he may be thinking the same as me, in which using the towers does make sense in order to cross the bandits. The cool thing about making it in this way is that you're able then to use your defenses for the future, right? Because you just took care of the bandits, but the building doesn't need to go away. It defends your territory. So we're gonna keep that there. Next up, I want to pause the sawmill because I need to accumulate a few trees.
And we would have to check for the citizens tree in the research building.
Actually,
right?
that's exactly what I wanted to do with the trees. Because I ran out of logs since I transformed them all into planks, then I need to save up a few more in order to regain that portion. Okay, so we're gonna send them into this.
And you know what's in there, right?
I already know what is in here, and I want it. It is gold. Gold would require me to make use of a mint as well. And together with those, I'll be creating coins, which I can then use as we described before. They are basically the same coins that I obtained here, but I want more and infinite.
Of course.
So
why not?
I am greedy. I want those resources.
That's what you said.
Well, I'm taking a risk here, but it is a little bit lessened by the fact that I know that these bandits still exist. So I can get close to them, and if I see Nadim trying to engage into them, I may actually support the bandits, because then I hurt the enemy, and maybe the enemy has to run away before even dealing with the bandits.
Very cool. Yeah.
They'll always have to pay attention to that. So I'm gonna send one engineer over there. I'm gonna ask you to grab whatever is below here, or find me the gold. And let me check. How are we doing with the logs? 5.
Do we have time for another question, by the way?
Absolutely.
So Chad has one for us. Can you let the blacksmith produce all items one by one, or do you need 3 to produce all tools?
So if you want automatic eternal production, you do indeed need 3 different blacksmiths producing their own. It is part of the skill of every player to go back to the building. You can use control groups, as I just did, for example. You mark one building, you give it a number, and you press it twice. It brings you immediately to that. And then you're able to go here. And if you have multiple, you can use tab, and it directly brings you to the next copy of the same item.
Cool.
So accessibility is there, but we're asking the players, find out what you're trying to build right now and make sure that it gets done. For example, I now need a lot of shields, and I want to swap over the bow production into axe production. So I just do it myself. I run out of people again, but I do have residences in the pipeline. So as long as we keep making new settlers, I'll be happy. Resources found.
Now,
good. Yes.
You send, I think, an engineer over to the top right of the map, right?
You caught onto that.
I caught on to.
I thought I was being
I
secret.
have glasses on my face. I see everything.
So do I. Okay, we can unlock the citizens.
Yeah, first
tree.
things first. Yeah, citizens. Okay.
Very good. Now we can unpause the sawmill that I had stopped so that it doesn't consume those logs. And to the top right, I already know this, but of course it's easy to check for any player. We had sent our engineer to make a deal with the merchant. In reality, what's happening is we are securing the zone for our victory, for our team. And as soon as no enemy can contest my presence over there, the merchant will yield out the rewards. It could be a merchant, it could be any other type of landmark, but the rewards will be mine to take. However, they are still weapons. I have to carry them back home.
Okay.
So even that transport is unsafe. If the enemy decides to let me deal with the merchant first, but then attack me so that they can take the weapons on their own, that's an efficient method as well.
Quite evil plan.
Quite evil plan is very possible. In the meantime, I'm gonna grab this particular scout, and I'm gonna hide him over here. Because I want to make use of their scouting ability to hide so that I can see, always updated, what's coming up in the north. I want to see those mines being created or not. And if we look, they disappear.
Wow.
So you are, of course, able to continue seeing your own unit, but for the enemy, there's absolutely nothing here.
So cool.
They would need to visit it with one of their units in order to notice that that has happened. I see that I produced a lot of archers.
I don't think Nadim knows that.
Haha. Well, I am counting on that. I need more bows, and then we are getting there. All right, so we have chosen to go for the citizens tree. It's the tree that has one of the coolest implements in terms of research categories for me, because it has all the cool things that we used to miss from older games, including, for example, more claiming territory every time you build a building.
All right.
Towers themselves already have the most range out of all buildings. All buildings usually get a little bit of margin, but the towers themselves have more. So when you research this upgrade and you plant down a tower, it feels like good old days. Additionally, and this is where the combo begins, I run out of archers, okay? But I don't need the shields. I need a second here. Okay, so we have people collecting those materials. Let's send a lot more people to collect those materials. In the meantime, I'm falling behind. I don't want to do that. Okay, so we don't have enough resources. Okay, fine. Everything will be fine. In any case, what I was saying, the other thing that is amazing, there we go, the bow finished in the one sentence that I finished speaking about. The other upgrade that is just at the start of the Citizens Guild is what used to be known as defensive power. As long as you're on your side of the base, on your territory, your units will deal more damage. If you can research this early on, of course, it even means you can get help by fighting the bandits, because usually you pull them to your territory. If you do it in conjunction with claiming more land, then defending becomes a much scarier stronghold, because you'll be claiming more territory by just placing the buildings, and then it will be your territory, so your units are stronger in your own territory. So those things go absolutely together. Do I have someone claiming these coins? No, you know what? You too? Go grab these coins.
There's gold lying on the ground, and everyone like, oh,
Yeah.
no, just none of my business.
Just looks like
none of my-
gold.
I don't know.
Yeah. As always, keeping your engineers busy is an integral part of this. All right, so I can see that I need to build more residences. But now we have added something so that it's not just about building residences. I just need to get to it. Let me research this in the meantime. And also I need a windmill. Well, I am out of wood. Seems like my plan needs to pause for a bit. I'm gonna go with fish over here. And we are ready to get going.
Now, as you told us, we are in the end game right now.
Yeah.
In the late game. I know of the order of Brune units.
That is indeed correct.
Do you want to show us some of those?
I will absolutely try. For that, we need to finish this production chain. But the fact that I ran out of wood so early is very scary. So I had to make some amendments here on how I'm preparing my new wood production. And I was not efficient enough. So I'm being punished for not paying attention to my economy. And I think that is amazing.
Yes.
At the very least.
Because you were talking to me all the time.
Yeah, I blame you now, strictly. We're not going to lose, I hope.
Absolutely no problem with that.
But if we do lose, it's going to be your fault.
Yeah, no problem. I can sleep tonight.
Perfect. Okay, let me go back to the training hall. I think I need to pause this for a little bit. I see that I've strained my economy so much by recruiting so many units that now my economy is suffering. So I'm going to pause that a little bit. At least look at our army. That is looking quite very solid.
Big, yes.
We can even look at them from different angles against the sun.
Very cool.
But I am used to playing in this direction, so please let me return.
And still no Nadim around, right? Oh, I see something. Yeah.
He is around. However, I think he's preparing with towers.
Yes. Towers, yes.
All right, so he's playing with the 𝗦𝗨𝗨𝗲. I can see that by the build out of their towers. And I think if we scout a little bit more, maybe we see some buildings. Yeah. He's playing 𝗦𝗨𝗨𝗲, and 𝗦𝗨𝗨𝗲 buildings in general do have more health. It's one of their faction traits.
Okay.
So I can imagine that he's trying to go for defensive buildings so that he's better protected for or against my army. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of all the gold that we're accumulating or trying to mine here, and we're going to create our own order of Brune units. I'm going to ask these people to stop doing this, claim more ground for me.
Please stop whatever you're doing right now.
Yeah, well, that's the cool thing, right? Having control over these units means that you can direct them around and tell them exactly what you need done right now. Research finished, that's great. And we need bread for this, that is correct. I should have prepared the bread before. Wait, there we are. So, windmill, go here. We'll get that built. And once again, I'm pushing my economy as hard as possible. I think the idea of stopping with my military for now is going to be great because I will have the backup of a lot of weapons ready for me to grab as soon as I, for example, if I engage and I get defeated, I can replenish my army quickly. I probably should make another barracks in that case, a training ground, so that the recruitment goes faster, and then I can replenish my whole army. But alternatively, the more I keep recruiting, the more of my units or my carriers will just be taken for the military. So it's really important to keep an eye on which direction you are trying to take right now, or what helps your game the most, so that you don't lock yourself the way I'm doing right now. Okay. I'm going to demolish that building. I don't think I need it right now, compared to what I need out of this bakery. There we go. So bread, and as we said, bread and other foodstuffs have been changing in how they are used. In this case, the coal mine requires bread now, and the use of coal is so prominent throughout these buildings that create units or iron, and even in research, that having bread is very advantageous. I think I'm going to be able to research this with no problem. There we go. How are we doing on units? Good.
And what's the plan for winning?
All right, so the victory condition of any skirmish game that is with the default victory condition, even though we have some surprises there, is about destroying the opponent's warehouse.
Right.
And or all warehouses, depending on the case that they have built more than one. There are a few maps that have special victory conditions, like, for example, surprise for later. But we'll be gladly revealing this later. There are specific maps that are also PvP, where the focus is more on economic goals, like accumulating of certain type of goods or having a certain economic power that we will be representing. But in this particular case, we are playing with the basic defeat your opponent condition.
So we want to, destroy the warehouses Nadim has built.
That is indeed correct. And that's another point where the order of Brune units will be ideal, they are really good at destroying buildings.
Very good.
So we're gonna send these 2 units to finish that there. We're gonna stop this guy from claiming and having built the piece of road that is missing.
That is
Someone was like, you know what?
Suddenly missing. What was happening there?
I don't know. I was not told to do that. So for everyone to note, yes, there is auto build, and this would have been taken care of. As we saw, this guy just showed up and was like, this was my job, I'm sorry. But you, as a player, you can manually redirect your engineers to say, you know what, right now I need you to be here. And that gives us a lot more control when trying to play around with the possibilities. For example, right now, no one is trying to build these 2. So I'm gonna grab this guy who was just now building the road and send him there and be like, you know what, it's you. You're gonna be the guy going there. As soon as you do that, if the resources required for that building were not delivered yet, all of the carriers will be like, oh, someone's gonna work there, I'm gonna go.
Okay.
So you can give priority in that way. Okay, so what can we see here?
I just want to say, let's peek into what Nadim is doing.
All right, so I see the preparation with multiple decoys and towers. So
He's waiting for us.
Indeed. Ah, there it is. That's creating the second warehouse. That's pretty cool. And finally, we came out of our Siedlermangel, of our lack of settlers. So we currently have 16 settlers that are idle that we can then recruit into a better military world. Let me go with, yeah, we're going to go with this one. How are we doing with planks? I think I would like a few more. Are you getting any fish? Because we're good with stone, but we're not good with planks. And then we are building the Shady Tavern, preparing for the future.
For the Order of Broom units, right?
That is indeed correct. So
Enemy inside?
I think it's gonna be the bandits. No, the poor guy is like, I'm just mining here. I don't know. Are you trying to be aggressive? I can run away from this.
I'm just mining here.
So what's cool is we'll always get reminders of everything through notifications. If you click on whatever you have configured your hotkey on take me there, it will take you there. And I want to buy this upgrade. Oh my God, this is so good. One of the upgrades, of course, or some of the upgrades affect your economy and your infrastructure so strongly that it enables you to start thinking in a different way. What the one that I'm doing is gonna do particularly is that all carriers will be able to use pushcarts without the need of stone roads. Normally you would build stone roads in order to make that a possibility. However, with the upgrade, everyone will be able to carry triple goods. So as you see, our advanced trees are really strong.
Yes.
Not even joking here.
Sounds very good.
What I did run out of, is the other sawmill paused? 20 minutes ago, flashback to me. I'm gonna pause this sawmill right now.
And the guys in there, I don't know why.
I wanted to cut some wood, but
I don't know why I had to stop.
Well, the boss said so. What am I gonna do? So that's perfect. At least it explains exactly what's going on there. And I'm going to tell this guy to now start making a few more shields.
So just to be clear, without the Order of Broom units, we wouldn't stand a chance right now against all the towers.
If I just literally right-click and try to conquer it, I will probably get destroyed.
Yeah.
That is no secret there, especially because there are also research upgrades for the towers, right? So you can increase their damage or the health or the rain of fire damage in some advanced trees. So if I just jump in there with no plan, I'll get destroyed. What I can probably do without any losses right now is defeat these bandits and threaten my opponent by saying, I'm at your doorstep.
I'm near.
Be careful. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the Order of Broom units called the Mystics. These are particularly for the yarn, and they're very effective at going right into danger range and shooting powerful elixirs. Let's go with the easier word to pronounce. Elixirs, in this case of lightning, so that they can destroy the buildings easily. And with the proper research, which I could not afford, with the proper research, they also have an effect on death. So each particular faction will also have a different effect on that, and thus you can feel the differences between them more and more. So the research is finished, but what did we research? The road thing.
The road, yeah.
All right, and then our decoys get better. I don't know if I want this. I want the focus crystals, but I don't have gems. So what do I do?
200 of them.
I build a harbor. There we go. We build it here. And I cannot afford a warehouse on top. Okay, so we're going to build the harbor. And the harbor is going to let us trade one of the resources we have for gold or gold for another resource. And what I'm going to try to do is see if I can obtain some cool... In fact, we're going to cancel some of these shamans. If we can obtain some cool gems, because gems are the other material used for Order of Brune units and their upgrades, that allow you to do a bit more mystical stuff. And in this case, the mysticity is shoot powerful lightning at the towers and destroy them.
I like powerful lightning. What are you talking about?
One of my favorite things about mysticism. Each of the Order of Brune units per faction handles a different element, a different aspect of Brune that Nadim will probably touch upon in the next stream.
You gave it away. No problem.
Didn't we say that at the beginning? Well,
No,
if not...
I will say that at the end at some point.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
But
so we have...
all good.
Oh, look at that. It really was the sawmill being paused. I was fighting so long without wood. Oh my god. Yeah.
Again, I don't know why I'm not working.
Well, at least we found the reason, you know? Okay, so now we're out of people again correctly, but that's perfectly fine. We are ready to recruit 1 million new units.
And as we are nearing the end of the stream right now,
That is indeed correct.
we want to see if we are strong enough to defeat Nadim, of course.
Well, I would love...
I don't want to push you. I just want to, you know...
I would love to show that, indeed. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can finish the harbor. The harbor is already halfway, pretty good. People are bringing the resources. Let's look at the construction. I'm going to pick a different angle with the sun.
Very nice.
There we go. So as soon as the harbor finishes, I'll be able to make use of the research that I just completed of making sure that people can transport things faster. And when those two things come together, what I can trade, or how fast I can trade, really shoots up. I basically will be handling triple as fast as before.
Wow.
So with that in mind, I will grab whatever material I have the most, probably the bows, sell them for coins as soon as I can, and then grab all of those coins and buy gems out of it. If not, you know what? Maybe I have enough coins already. I have a good bunch of coins. Once we have that, we'll go to our shady tavern. There we go.
I love the name, by the way.
Yeah. And then we'll be recruiting the Seers, and the Seers will be dealing very good high damage. They are the most expensive units right now, so that's gonna be cool. What we can do in the meantime is scare Nadim a little bit. I can kill these bandits probably with absolutely no losses at this point. Maybe one unit will die. I'm checking down
good.
here.
Looking good.
Looking very good.
And also grab the reward that lies now right before his eyes.
That is indeed correct. However, neither of us is probably going to risk it in order to try to grab that. So I'm going to fall back. Because I want to go back to the tower, use their healing capacities, because as we see, some people survive with very low health. I'm gonna keep these units around, and as always, we have the scout that is giving us the latest reports, the latest news on the front line. Okay, I think the harbor should be done by now.
Breaking news, Nadim's still not around.
Buy gems, give. Now, again, the Settlers is still an economy-based game, which means people have to bring the resources here in order to trade them. In this case, we're grabbing the gold, putting it in the harbor, and the harbor will then yield the gems back to us, which then have to be brought back. So that is cool. I think we missed a lot of questions.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I think we have the question, will the game have co-op?
All right, so there are multiple game modes. This is the first and most important thing: campaign, skirmish, and hardcore mode. Campaign is for solo players. They want to experience a story that we tell them, and they will go through, with our factions, through 13 missions. And in the case of Skirmish, of course, you can band with your friends together or against each other. You can also make a group of friends and find opponents out there in the wild. And in hardcore case, I see Nadim is trying to claim those rewards. See, I'm trying to explain something and then sneakily go like, what?
Sneaky
that's a nice gold. I'm gonna grab it.
That's something we will have to talk about.
Oh no, I didn't get there in time. Okay, well, Nadim took advantage of this.
And now he saw your scout,
and then
right?
the final mode, hard mode, it has different types of difficulties for different types of maps. Those that are solo can only be played solo. And then there are 2 players and then 4-player maps difficulty in hardcore that you can call your friends and play co-op with.
Okay. So next, I shoot the next question, right?
Yeah, let's go for more
any
questions.
siege weapon for those towers was asked like a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I think we are answering that question as we play.
Yeah.
But I'm saving this so that when we do an attack, it's gonna be the big attack.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do some more research, torch damage, for example, which will come very in handy right now.
And now for a very interesting question: can you defeat engineers with scouts?
And that's one of the coolest things. Absolutely yes. So, given this position, if I was able to sneak around the forest with my scout, which, you know what, I'm not gonna try because that sounds too dangerous. I will be able to put him in a position where he hides himself. And if I say with hold position, hold position, then the unit will not attack unless there's someone directly in range, right? Otherwise, units have their own automated defenses where they see someone and go shoot. And with that, you can hide. You see some enemies pass by, and then bam, you shoot with the poison. And even if your even if your scout gets killed, 1 or 2 shots is probably enough to push with the poison to push for the limit. So yes, it is absolutely possible, but bandits still exist, right? So once you get there, yes, you can get it done, but before that, it's gonna be tricky. Is our trade complete? All right, let me check. How are we doing with the trade?
Nearly.
Trade now. I want my stuff right now. So we're gonna go back here. We're gonna prepare.
And prepare the final act, right?
We're gonna prepare for the final one, yes. We're gonna use also any mystics that we can recruit right now. Put them as group 2. I think if I do this, it's good. Yeah. Yeah, apologies for the chat. It seems like we skipped some questions for a short while, but please keep those
problem.
questions
We have like the screen here and it jumped, I think. So apologies to the chat. Everything is okay.
Yep. All right, so we have capped out on residents.
And we are being pushed right now to get to the end in the next few minutes, please.
No
so,
problem.
I'm going to push you.
Absolutely.
To start attacking even.
Yeah. But I want those units. So let's give it a minute until those units are recruited.
Yeah, and then
ship return. Okay, good. So trade will be available. Again, if my first attack were to fail right now, what I could do is I could pull back, prepare my own defenses, and then push once again together with newly recruited units. As you see, I have prepared more weapons for the future. I could make sure that I get more upgrades for my units. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna order 1 because why not? And then what we're gonna do is regroup, reform, attack again.
So back and forth.
Yeah, so this map in particular has the one tug of war that players will have to constantly push each other for. So if I can find the units that are coming here, okay, they came all the way from back there. That's fine. You can do this. Tiny carriers.
Where should I go?
All right, so if I scout also over here, we see that unit production is not happening anymore. That's interesting. I'm probably gonna face a lot of fortifications. But we'll have one push in which we will try to see if we can go through that type of fortifications. If we can go through, then I'll probably face more and we will have to leave the ending to see.
To our imagination.
To our imagination, indeed. But what we're gonna try right now is group up all of our Order of Brune units, which are still being recruited. There we go. After all, people have to bring the resources here if they want to get recruited, right?
Yeah.
It is still a fully economy-based game.
Research completed.
The research is completed. Let's go for this. Yes, I wanted this for so long. There's an upgrade that gives all your residences more living space, which means all of the houses I built got stronger. So let's see. Is it time for the Mystics? Is it time for the Seers? Oh, yes, it is time for the Seers. Come out, come out. Let's go to play. There we go.
Looking good.
They're so cool. All right, so we're gonna grab all of our Order of Brune units.
And now.
And all of our military units.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, indeed. Here he comes. Oh my god, he's so cool.
Hang on, guys. I'm right there.
Yeah, he's sliding through the battle. All right, oh my god. That's a warning shot. That is, if you get close, I'm gonna destroy you. So we're gonna, basically what he's doing right now is activating the abilities of the towers manually in order to gain a little bit more time, put together more forces, build more units, and so on. So what I'm gonna do is attack as the abilities finish, and we're gonna distribute the units all around the place. The decoys activate, but more importantly for us are the Order of Rune units.
Oh, that's looking good.
And that is destroying all these buildings. And I knew it! So
They
when
were
people
hiding.
saw Recall, indeed, what they thought is like, I can escape with my units, but you can set up amazing ambushes like this. So now I really don't know how we will do. I think that looked super cool. That was a cool tactic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna have to be better prepared next time.
This is at least this is one warehouse we see right now on the left.
But so this we saw him building. What I saw, what I see right now is that we have pushed through the faction units that were recruited in the back. Oh, I didn't even use mine. Damn it. Doesn't matter. The faction units pushed through. All of these buildings are now demolished, and I think that is the last pocket of defenses that we're gonna meet. So let's destroy this warehouse.
Looking good for us.
Looking good indeed.
What was Nadim even doing an hour long?
Well, he prepared that teleport ambush. That was pretty cool.
I know. I'm just
That was very interesting.
just having fun here.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, so for anyone that remembers, we had our training ground on Rally to Group and then auto-recruit on all the units that we could afford.
So they are still
That's
coming.
why the reinforcements have arrived, and now I can continue with my new army, with my refreshed army, or rather with the new bodies. So
The
we will
towers
get
are
this done.
going down fast.
Yeah. As long as you have sufficient bodies, the decoys cannot catch up. They no longer have infinite targets, so you're able to redirect, especially those range units that are further in the back, away from the decoy with no problem. And once the towers are destroyed, then it's a lot harder for enemies to defend, even if the decoys are still absorbing some of your units. Because there are also researches to make your decoys stronger so that you can counteract such techniques.
Cool.
So there are many things that can be done. Let's go for the warehouse.
And win the thing.
And win the thing indeed. I think we got this.
Yes.
Let's see. There we go. We ended up with a victory. I got it within the hour, even though this could have easily taken a lot longer. So I'm very happy that we got to see this. GG's! Cool recall. That was so cool. Well, I mean, that's how it swings.
Thank you, Nadim, for playing
you.
with us or against us, how you see. And thank you, Chris. This was absolutely awesome.
Gladly, Kevin.
Any
For me,
closing words from your side?
we're always happy to see where all of these improvements bring us and how a match looks like. So we were very excited to show all of this together in the stream. And this is, as we said, the first stream. We want to show more. There's a lot more cool things to talk about. There's even stuff in this game that I didn't get to talk about because I just had to keep on doing things. So we will take our time. We will answer more questions whenever they come. And we are happy to show where all of these changes over the past months have brought us and where they will bring us in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you very much. Next streams will be coming your way. We spoiled it already. So next up, I will talk to Nadim about story and campaign. This is very, very interesting. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for having fun with us. Have a great day. Till next time.
Bye-bye.